Picking on a kid, mate. Fucking hell. Picking on a fucking kid, was it? Eh?
Take what you want to go, okay?
Shut up! I'm talking. I'm your fucking size. Fuck with me.
We will just go now, all right?
Don't you fucking dare backchat me, because I will slay you now where you fucking stand, you fucking packy cunts. Right? You listening to fucking me?
This is England is a film that's written and directed by Shane Meadows that came out in 2006. So This is England is a $50 patron request from a brand new patron, Bobby B. Bobby B is a longtime supporter of this channel. He's been here for at least 2 or 3 years, possibly even longer than that. I highly appreciate his support, and now even more highly appreciate the fact that he's decided to become a patron and support my channel in that way. And as I always seem to say in all of my patron request videos, this is a film that I had never heard of until Bobby B brought it to my attention. And it's just such a blast to be able to discover all these new films through not only all of my subscribers that constantly recommend films, but from my patron requests as well. And I gotta say, after watching This is England, I found this to be a great character study / coming of age film that basically explores, I don't want to say the roots of racism, but the causation of racism and where it derives from through the working class community of England. And I just found that the way this film explores that subject and the way it's all presented through the aesthetics and the story and the characters to be quite compelling and also insightful in a lot of different ways. And the reason why I think this film works so well is because of the fact that it does feel like a genuine and unfiltered and raw experience. This film definitely feels like you are not only just experiencing a fictional depiction of the events. And that's thanks to a lot of different aspects of filmmaking, but I think one of the central things that kind of elevates the film to that level is through the aesthetic presentation, because there's not much to the aesthetics in this film. And honestly, the way this film looks overall isn't that cinematic, but that's what kind of gives this film a documentary type feel to it that, again, kind of convinces you that everything that you're watching is real. It really presents the illusion quite well. There's absolutely nothing about this film that feels overly produced or high budget. I mean, it's not as raw as a film like Harmony Korine's Gummo or anything, but it's definitely holding back on having anything look too shiny or too produced. But it's not just the aesthetic presentation that makes this film immersive. It's also the performances. Thomas Thurgoose, the actor that plays the child character in this film, the main character, this is basically his first film ever, and he knocked it out of the park. Honestly, this kid gives a stellar performance, especially considering the kind of complex and heavy subject matter that he had to deal with as a brand new child actor. I mean, he has to really express a wide range of emotions, and I really do think he knocks it out of the park, especially with a integral scene that happens in basically the last 15 minutes of the film. I think he absolutely killed it. But there's another actor in this film named Stephen Graham who plays a very important character in this film, and he was the standout in this film. Even though the main character, as I mentioned, gave an excellent performance, Stephen Graham, I mean, you truly hate him in this movie, and you hate him because he embodies his absolutely despicable character so incredibly well and so convincingly that you never really once ever question that he is not this character. Bobby B, the patron that requested this film, he told me that he actually embodied this character so well that he was actually unable to find work for such a long time. And I think that's kind of tragic, but it's also just a testament to how incredibly talented he is as an actor. I mean, there are so many different scenes in this film that you feel every ounce of tension, you feel every ounce of hatred, and his character is actually integral to what I believe the film is trying to express about hateful beliefs. Because once his character gets introduced into the film and he begins to assert his authority, that's when everything starts to change. This is when all the characters that we follow throughout the film have to make important decisions about their lives. And there's just one excellent scene, quite possibly my favorite scene of the entire film, where Stephen Graham's character, his name's Combo, by the way, he basically just draws a line in the fucking sand and basically makes people choose whether or not you're with his racist, white supremacist cause or against it. And it's through his speech-giving abilities that he's able to kind of manipulate and brainwash people into a certain line of thinking. And it's also during that scene that the film was able to express an incredibly important manipulation tactic that's used for this kind of brainwashing. And it's basically to just hit them where it hurts and to tackle their weaknesses, learn their weaknesses, and use that as an avenue to kind of build something off of and implant ideas that are used to motivate them to fit their own agenda. And it's just an incredible scene overall. I mean, it's incredibly frustrating. And a lot of scenes after that point are just really frustrating to watch. But it's all very effective stuff. And Stephen Graham's final scene in this movie that happens within the last 15 minutes is so well acted. It's honestly one of the better performances I've seen in quite some time. And he just really knocks it out of the park. And again, is incredibly vital to what I think this film has to say about hateful beliefs. And in that particular scene, I think it very clearly demonstrates that a lot of hatred comes from your upbringing and the lack of a household that showed you unconditional support that kind of serves as a moral safety net. And when you don't have that as a person and you grew up without that and you see other people having it, it obviously depends on the person. Some people, they can take that and turn it around and not be the same way, or some people are different and they truly cannot help the anger and the rage that they feel inside because of the things that they lacked growing up that they so desperately needed. But one thing that I will say about that particular scene, and really throughout this film in general, it's kind of a criticism that I do have with the film in general, but it was more apparent in that scene. And it's the score. I was not really a fan of the score in this movie. It seems like it really is unnecessarily there to emphasize that sorrowful emotion through this kind of cliche sounding piano music. And it's kind of apparent through different scenes throughout the film, and it just felt overbearing. To me, it was most certainly not needed because you feel the weight of the scene already because of the performances, because of the presentation. You feel that emotional impact. And when you have that music overlaid during the scene, it just it's just trying too hard when it really didn't need to. And also the final scene of this movie that kind of serves as a thematic character conclusion to our main character, I thought it was a little rushed and a little bit obvious and kind of a bow tie ending. But I feel like if I were to watch the mini-series approach to this concept, which by the way, there is a mini-series to this film, I probably would have liked it more because it has more time to kind of flesh out its story and character arcs. But overall, I thought that this was an incredibly effective film. I'm really glad that I watched it, and I think it explores its subjects incredibly well. So I'm going to give This Is England a soft 8 out of 10. I'm not sure how many of you out there have heard of this movie. If you have and you've seen it, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to hear it. And if you haven't seen it, I obviously highly recommend that you go and watch it as soon as you can. But anyways, that's all I got to say about This Is England. If you really enjoyed what I had to say about the film, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.